before so much paralyzing terror.
The sadistic leader of the Bloody Brew, whose only philosophy is anything goes.
Werewolves and vampires will reign supreme. Pay for the whole story. Your memory's the edge. And things will happen that have never been seen by human beings.
What's up, weirdos? It's time to leave your respective reality behind for a while and take a little trip into the Weirdoverse. I'm JD Ross, your tour guide through the halls of strangeness, and you are listening to Weird Wide. We have a very special episode for you today. This show's first dive into the world of murder. But first, let me introduce my guest for this episode. And no, this time, at least for the moment, it's not one of my nonsensical characters that I've actually brought a real life human onto the show. The first guest for this show had to be special. If you're a fan of my previous podcast, Going Hollywood, he'll be a familiar voice, familiar face. You know him, you love him. Please welcome my best friend, the Ghost.
My brother, I appreciate you having me, man. When I found out you're doing this, I'm like, dude, I've got to hop on this particular episode.
Oh, absolutely. This has been one that we've I've been excited about this for a while because we'll get into it. We'll see where why this is a special episode. But yeah. So first of many guests, but I had to have the Ghost on first. I had to have my best friend on first. Now let's get on with the murder. So today we're going to be overturning a rock that is much less known in the true crime world. Not a household name like Gacy, Bundy, or Dahmer, but a situation that fits perfectly into the Weirdoverse. Like I hinted at up top, because our friend the Ghost was actually kind of involved in the situation. So we've got a bit of an extra perspective that's kind of more of a rarity in the world of true crime. Yes, today, we're going to be talking about the murder of Cory Voss. Now, Ghost, you were friends with the people behind the murder, so without getting too far into it,
Jesus,
what is it like having known real-life murderers?
Ladies and gentlemen, just to make it clear, this was an accidental find. I didn't just say, hey, I'm going to scout out some murderers. That was not my intention here.
Murderers today.
Literally. I out of high school, wanted to do film, blah, blah, blah. You know the whole spiel. Walked into Wawa, which is, if you're wherever, it's like a Sheetz. Walked into a Wawa gas station.
Yeah, it's true. If you're East Coast, there's like the Sheetz Wawa battle.
There you go. Walked into a Wawa, found a card that said screenwriter, photographer, actor, or some shit. Michael Draven. And I'm like, oh shit. God. I mean, and I still have the fucking card, dude. It's him gothic. It was great. I'm like, all right.
Love that you still have the card. I did not know that you still had the card.
I do still have I have a lot of this shit.
That's amazing. Now, people always want to look for a reason when it comes to gruesome acts like this. Was it Gacy's childhood trauma that led to his rampage? Was there something abnormal in Dahmer's brain that led him to do what he did? Was it Marilyn Manson and bullying that caused the Columbine shooters to finally snap one day? But while those cases and many others are debated to this day, the murder of Cory Voss has a much more clear-cut answer, and it's so simple, it's infuriating. Money. Purely and simply money.
Which most murders, when you look the mundane murders that we know,
be
mostly money. Like, I killed my wife, or wife kills husband for money. It seems like, okay, plausible. It's just the way they went around it was a bit ridiculous in a sense, and I know we'll go into it more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's honestly, this is one of the stupidest murders I've ever researched too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you actually think about it back, I rewatched all of the episode of. She has like 9 of them now. Kat has like 9 of them now, and on all over different kind of shows and TV channels and streaming channels. And I watched all of them, and man, they were really dumb, dumb.
Yeah, as we'll get into. So even more infuriating and tragic, though, is from what I could turn up, by all accounts, Cory Voss was a stand-up guy. I couldn't find a bad thing written about him. Did you ever get a chance to meet him?
Nah, I never met. I met. Actually, he got murdered 6 months after we met.
Okay,
each other. I only knew these people 4 months.
That's funny. I can actually kind of pin where on the timeline it is that you came into contact with him. That's kind of funny.
It's crazy, right? And you can even read it with the paperwork, like the friends when the FBI and all those fucks were following them. It's like, oh, we were those friends. The band she was managing. Oh God,
that is funny as shit.
It is.
So Cory Voss was born in 1977 outside of Chicago. He was apparently not a traditionalist. Cory dropped out of high school, but he later got his GED and he enlisted in the U.S. Navy. Now, like many who struggle to find their groove in school, I can attest to that. I was one of those people. Didn't go down this particular path, but Cory was able to find himself through service in the military. And according to NCIS agent Maureen Evans, who was involved in the investigation, Cory's commander on the USS Elrod had said that in the decade and a half that he had served, Cory was easily one of his top 3. So he went from high school dropout to shining star in the Navy. He really found his groove there.
He did. Even his mother mentioned it in one of the interviews where he literally was a dropout, got his GED, and became a fucking is it communications officer?
Yeah, he was a communications officer, and he was actually apparently like he was on some kind of program. They had like a 5-year program that he would have been like running his own ship within the next couple of years.
In the next year, he was.
Was it the
close.
next year? Oh
it was
God.
that. He was that close. I didn't even know the man, and the way I actually, and we're gonna bring this up later. The way I found out about Cory was very scary.
Yeah,
I mean, immensely. Yeah, and I kept this to let you know.
See, again, if you've ever listened to Go in Hollywood, we always try to keep some of these things like so we can get the genuine reaction. So I don't even know all of the ghost side of the story with this whole thing. With as much research as I've done on this, I don't even know the full details.
Just wait.
Now, while Cory's star was rising, he decided to go bar hopping one night in 1999, which was a decision that would ultimately lead him to an early grave. It is fucking crazy to think that if he had just stayed at home that night, if he had just opted to have a movie night in, he might still be alive today and we wouldn't even know his name.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that isn't the case. 1999, everyone was worried about Y2K, but little did Cory know he should have been much more worried about a woman named Katerina Kat Wiggins.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Let me tell you, Kat is a pure sociopath, and we will go into that aspect deeper.
I think you're right, because I think she definitely sees everything as transactional. From what I was able to like kind of dig up and kind of what it seemed like her viewpoint of things were.
Now that I'm older, she went to prison when with my age, 33. So knowing how she was, she was the sociopath. The first time I met her, man, and we'll go. I know you'll bring it up in a little bit, but this woman is she used people, and Cory was one of the people that she used.
Yeah. Well, let's dig a little bit more into Kat. So, like we've said, Kat was a little bit of a weird one. This actually checks out because I'm not sure who at home is aware. The ghost is not from the U.S. of A. Actually, when I met him at first, there was a large group of Bosnians that we were all hanging out with. It was interesting. So that kind of weirdly fits with how Kat got into that group a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she had this weird habit of faking a Russian accent.
And let me tell you something. The first time I met her, she pulled that bullshit on me. When I saw it in one of the episodes first time, I was like, oh, that is a real thing. She fucking did. She did that. She tried. She was like, hi, I'm Katerina. I am from Russia.
Now, how good of an accent was it? Because like, my name is Boris. I'm from Mother Russia. You know,
it was
some people can pull. Okay, was it convincing though?
No, it was purely like, here's the thing. When she said that to me, I immediately retorted with, oh, cool. Yeah, I'm from Eastern Europe too. What part of Russia are you from? And it immediately, I don't even remember the transition being subtle. It was just, yeah, I'm from Newport News.
So she couldn't even like fucking fake it. Like, just like she couldn't even pull a half baked and go like from the cold part.
No.
Instead of right near the beach, it's
no. And the thing is, everything that I'm about to tell you in the first night that I met her is also what happened with how I found out who Cory Voss was.
Okay.
She literally lied about this accent. That is not a joke. That literally happened to me for like half a second, and she couldn't fool a Eastern European. Good fucking luck.
That's true. I mean, like, I've been around you guys. I can't fool you guys. Like, you can't fuck around with that shit. Like, I've been around
you can
all
tell.
y'all. Yeah, you can tell when it's
European.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly,
you ain't Eastern European.
I'll tell you what, it's a weird thing, and I'm gonna put one of our friends from back in the day on blast a little bit. It's the weird fucking questions that y'all like to ask.
Yeah.
You like Jeeps?
You like Jeeps?
You like Jeeps?
You like Motorhead?
You like Motorhead? Yeah, do you? Do you?
Motorhead?
Like,
Do you?
what the fuck, man? Like, yeah, I'm listening to Motorhead in a Jeep. Like, I do like Motorhead. Thanks for asking. Nice fucking noticing it. That's a little inside joke.
That's great.
Now, part of Kat's problem was that she wanted for a lifestyle that was well outside of her price range. She drove a BMW. She wanted all the designer clothing. Basically, she was that girl from the Offspring song, Why Don't You Get a Job? You know that song? My friend's got a girlfriend and he hates that bitch. He tells me every day.
It's great.
That's right. But from what I could tell, she wasn't willing to work for those luxuries. I did read an interview with her aunt Carol Wiggins saying that she noticed this weird relationship around money from an early age. When Kat was 16, she did receive an inheritance of about $25,000 from another family member that had died, and Kat took Carol shopping, and she described the look in Kat's eye as she went through the store as that of a rat in a cheese factory.
That's no joke.
Yeah, and apparently it only took 3 weeks to piss away all that money.
I'm actually not surprised with the later information you guys will find out. I'm not surprised about that. I didn't know this information. This was obviously she was 16. I don't know this Carol Wiggins. I would have loved to meet her. She seems like a crowd. I know what interview you're talking about. I've watched that one. I don't know anything about this $25,000 inheritance, but she did piss it away in 3 weeks like a moron.
That's amazing. I can't even imagine doing that.
Yeah, same.
Now, along with being very money focused, Kat was also very much into like the party / socialite kind of lifestyle. Always like to make herself like kind of the center of attention at the party. Now, with the birth of their first two children, Kat and Cory, because they married in the year 2000, but even this didn't settle that down on her. Like a lot of people, when they have kids, they start to settle that down. While Cory was described as like the ideal husband and father, always prioritizing family time, Kat wanted to continue with her party girl lifestyle.
That was her thing. She even talked to me about it. She fucking did it with us. We were 18, 19-year-olds ready to party. This is a 32-year-old woman. I never put two and two together. As an 18-year-old, why would you?
Well, yeah, why would you? At that point, it's like, you're not thinking like, because when you're an 18 or 19-year-old, you're allowed to be a dumbass. Like you haven't learned not to be a dumbass yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, today now at 33 years old, I mean, yes, I will party, but I have a lot more shit to do than party every fucking night. So when Cory was complete, like how you and I are. Cory was like how we are now. We
kind of settled down, like like wanting to move into a different like type of lifestyle. I don't even fucking want to go out and party. Like I'll go out to a nice dinner, or like I'll go hang out with people, like go to a fun event. But like I don't want to go out and drink all night anymore. Like
party.
It doesn't appeal to me anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And she was still in that. Now thinking about it, she was again a sociopath.
Well, some people never grow out of that. Now, something I also found very interesting was a similarity between Kat and another much more famous murder case was Casey Anthony.
Ooh.
Now, with Cory being a Navy man, he was deployed at sea for months at a time. And during these periods of time, Kat would still go bar hopping and be living it up. I mean, apparently she did it with y'all.
She did.
But she would give the kids Benadryl to knock them out. This way she'd be able to go out and party, bring home random dudes, and like the kids would just sleep through the whole thing.
That is actually not a joke. She's literally told me that verbatim. Looked me in the eyes, said, "I'm gonna just give the kids some Benadryl, and then you and Mike can go down there and do your thing. You don't have to worry about him." I'm like, as an 18-year-old, it flew right over my head. Now as a 33-year-old, I'm like, you drugged your motherfucking kids and went out and slept and blew every motherfucker in town?
A field of red flags right there.
Major, man.
Yeah. It's like
red.
It's like Casey Anthony with Zanny the Nanny.
Zanny the Nanny.
Zanny the Nanny. Now, it isn't an uncommon tale that military wives sometimes are less than faithful to their husbands. It's actually estimated that about a third of military spouses cheat on their partners during deployments.
Jesus.
Yeah, pretty rough, but Kat seemed a little bit above the normal spectrum because Kat was actually married to another guy named Steve Larson before she even met Cory. Steve was also in the military. He was on deployment. She apparently had a type. They divorced when he returned home because Kat was 6 months preggers by Cory at that point. So she had what seemed like an almost impulsive cheating habit. I feel like the Steve Larson, I feel like he probably dodged a bullet.
He definitely did, and he was in one of the
Literally
interviews we didn't
almost.
know. Y'all, literally almost. He actually said when he got home on the airport, she said, "Hey, it's over. Oh yeah, by the way, pregnant with the dude that it's over with."
Yeah, and in 6
Happened to be
months, it's
Cory.
like that's a thing. Like
It really is, and he actually said he's like, "I'm the husband that survived." In one of the interviews, I'm like, "Did you?"
he kind of is.
He is.
Yeah. I mean, that's like that. Honestly, like if you really stop and think about that, like Steve Larson's got to be like, I like could be dead right now.
He literally probably thinks sitting at home thinking about like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this fucking could have been me.
Could have been. It could have been. So well, yeah, good for Steve.
Right? Good for Steve.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah.
So while Cory was basically the closest thing you could find to a real life Prince Charming, he was not at all safe from Kat's infidelity. Now, this was the time of MySpace. I actually recognize that there are some of us in our audience that some of our younger weirdos that maybe never actually experienced MySpace in its heyday. But kind of like, I guess, Tinder and all that. I've been married too long to have ever used Tinder, but we actually just used to meet random people on MySpace and go hang out. And funny enough is like, I actually have to credit fucking MySpace with me not getting caught up in all this bullshit, because I had met a person on MySpace who I was trying to start a band with in Virginia Beach, and we were hanging out a lot. So all this cat drama was going on. I was busy hanging out with a different group of people, which is funny.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, you were hanging out with some dumb motherfuckers, but it's okay. You dodged the bullet, man. Good for you. I
dodged that bullet. That's some out of the frying pan into the fryer kind of shit. I mean,
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm actually,
while all this was going on, I had my own situation that turned sour. So
honestly, you don't want this really on your credit. It's just not. It was not good. It was not a good situation.
No, not at all. Anyway, so it was through MySpace in 2006 that Kat came to meet the next antagonist in this story, a fella named Michael Draven. Now, there's no way in hell that Draven is his actual last name, right?
That's the man's government last name. He changed his name.
He changed it. He changed it.
No, it's his government name. It was different, but his actual name now, his government name, he changed it through the government. I saw the paperwork.
Okay, so he actually got it changed.
Anthony Draven.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
And there's a reason why he did that, because he's a scumbag. He beat up his girlfriend.
Yeah, he's a
and got a warrant and changed his name because he had a warrant out, even though they still found him. Anthony, you idiot.
Yeah. Okay. That was a trick question, because I actually did know his real name. His real name was Anthony Neff, and he changed it because of the crow, like a complete fucking douche. Like, it's like, did you even see the crow? Like, for who he turned into, did you even see the crow?
Right.
Like, now I want to watch the crow.
Now I want to watch the crow. God damn it.
Now, the best way I can describe Michael Draven is he looks like someone who's trying very unsuccessfully to make a career as a magician. Like, remember the early 2000s? He had the guy liner thing going on with the dark hair and the goatee. He looked like he would carry like a goth themed deck of cards around with him and do like underwhelming card tricks that no one asked him to do.
I'm telling you, dude, and that's so true, because with the first time I met him, I thought he was gothic, but it was not. It was just the eccentric look of the Michael Draven or Eric Draven, whatever the hell his name is.
Was his,
he just wanted that look. And yeah, Mike did come up with pick a card, any card, and I will find a card in your ass cheek.
Yeah,
that was Mike.
He would be the type of magician though that would like, it wouldn't be the right card. Is this the ace of spades?
And he pulls it out of you between your ass cheeks too.
And you're like, no, I had the three of clubs.
And I'm not kidding y'all. This is how Michael Draven talked.
Oh, he actually talked like this. Like,
yeah.
That shit was forced.
Oh,
it had to have been.
Absolutely.
It had to have been.
Oh, yeah.
Now, at this point, it becomes a situation where two of the absolute worst kinds of people come together.
Yeah.
Kat fell head over heels for Anthony almost immediately. Michael Draven, he got it changed. That's what he's known as. Fell head over heels for him almost immediately. This is also that time in the early 2000s after the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out, where like pretty much any loser could just put on guy liner, and there were always like a few ladies that would just drop panties for it.
Very true. And I don't know if Mike went with that. I was 18. He was 27 at the time. This was late 2007.
Yeah.
So I don't know. In that sense, if he went with that direction of that time, because you're right about the Pirates of the Caribbean, it's funny.
Yeah.
Everybody trying to be Johnny Depp up in this bitch.
Everybody was.
And Mike was a narcissistic scumbag.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. We'll go into detail later.
That pretty much, sums it up. Both of them were. Now, Draven immediately began feeding Kat a line of delusional bullshit. As you said on the business card, he was a photographer. He had started a business that was generating hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. He was also a successful filmmaker.
Yeah.
To everyone at home, if anyone ever claims to be a successful filmmaker, make them name a film on the spot and fact check that shit on IMDb right away. Don't let it go any further than that. You call them on that shit and you make sure that they're in.
And that's what I should have done.
Yeah.
Because he was in movies and several independent films that had MySpace pages for them.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Angel was one of the movies that he was in. Now, I don't know if you ever looked this up. If you found,
no, I didn't.
He was like he looked just like Mike, and that was his whole character. But I never asked about the stuff. But when I met him at Starbucks, he pulled out a whole fucking sheet of emails. Like, I have all these emails from Hollywood, and I can help you out. You know, we can get together. And I'm like, oh, okay. 18-year-old Ghost is like, oh,
I mean,
where do I blow you, man?
I mean, it's hard to imagine, but like the both of us have always been starry-eyed dreamers. So like,
yes.
You falling for that doesn't surprise me back then.
Right.
Like said,
at 18. Yes.
At 18, you're allowed to be a dumbass. In fact,
absolutely.
You're almost encouraged to be a dumbass at that point.
Fail so you don't fail later in life.
Exactly. Fail upwards.
Yeah. That's how Hollywood is anyway.
Exactly. But with all of Draven's claims of artistic success and deep pockets, the reality could not have been further from the truth. In reality, Anthony Michael Draven lived in a mobile home with his mother and delivered newspapers part-time.
Very true.
Now look, we're not here trying to talk shit about mobile home folk who deliver newspapers. Times are stupid tough out there. Gas is still $4.50 a gallon, probably more. Just don't claim to be some uber successful filmmaker, aspiring filmmaker, if that is what
exactly
you're pursuing, but don't claim to be the cream of the crop if you're not.
The greatest thing about Mike is the fact that he told me that he was related to fucking Dracula. And I mean Vlad the motherfucking Impaler.
The Impaler.
Correct. Yeah,
he tried to claim he was a descendant of Dracul.
Yes, that was an absolute. Yeah, I even called him that. That was like my great uncle, man.
Dude, could you imagine the disappointment of Vlad the Impaler to find out that his descendant, who's claiming his name, lived with his mother in a trailer park and delivered newspapers part-time?
Vlad is probably like, well, fuck this bullshit.
Oh,
I'm going back to Romania.
Bullshit. I'm going back to Romania. This is bullshit. I do better Russian accent than Cat, though.
Than Romanian. It's funny as shit. But yeah, that was Mike, man. Mike was that kind of eccentric fuck that I believed his movie shit. It looked real.
Yeah.
But the Dracula shit threw me off guard. My wife makes fun of it every day when I tell her, Dracula. Okay.
Well, apparently he also did make some side money as a human test subject at a hospital in Baltimore where they would test pills and procedures like in Dirty Work. Remember that scene in Dirty Work?
Yeah. No, he actually offered me. He pulled out this piece of paper one night and was like, hey, this is what I do. It's like $5,000 in a week. You go there and take these experimental drugs. I'm like, 18-year-old Ghost, like, $5,000 in a week. Who do I want? Do I sign me up? And then I realized that, I'm glad as someone has Crohn's. I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know that at the time, but still.
I did not.
Now, Draven was all about projecting his own version of reality, even to the point of weirdly inserting himself into Kat's life. Yeah. They made no real effort to hide their relationship. They were posting plenty of pictures on MySpace, and even posting pictures of him with Cory and Kat's kids, with him captioning it, "My daughter, Casey."
That is actually true. I remember finding that very weird. One of our friends, Steve, he actually remembers seeing that, and I remember distinctly him saying, "Don't you find that kind of Weird.
Off. Yeah.
Off. And I'm like, I don't know, because we'll go into detail on why, because I told him the thing that I'm going to tell you shortly.
So something else strange in the whole thing was Kat quickly became aware of Draven's true reality, that he wasn't massively successful and he wasn't wealthy, but she continued to make excuses for him and even began like contemplating divorce from Cory to be with Draven.
Right.
But she also realized that would mean she'd have to get a job and her lifestyle would have to drastically change if she were to do that. So Kat and Draven began concocting a plan. So on April 28th of 2007, Cory's first night back from deployment at around 11 p.m., Kat asked Cory to run an errand for her, to go to an ATM to get cash for lunch money for the kids for the next day. Cory would never return home. The next morning, Cory's truck was reported in a strip mall, and in the driver's seat was the body of Cory Voss, dead from 5 gunshot wounds to the abdomen, chest, and arms.
Yeah, actually, he was found by a woman that works in one of those doctor offices. He died in front of a doctor's office, and at 7 a.m, a woman, comes to work, passes by it, and she actually saw him when she got inside the building. She saw from outside there's a dude like hanging, slumped over. Is he sleeping in the car? Why is he sleeping in front of my building?
Right.
And that's how the police was contacted.
Wow. So Kat called and reported Cory missing the next morning around 6 a.m. And called around the Navy command to see if like anybody there knew where Cory was. Of course, this was reported on the local news, and one of the heroes of this story, who was actually one of Kat's best friends, Ashley Doyle, saw the report and saw that it was asking for more information. Ashley was very aware of Kat and Draven's relationship, and she had this voice in her head that just said, Kat did it. Kat did it. So she immediately contacted the authorities to offer her help.
The person that she contacted was the dude that gave me my subpoena. So it's kind of hilarious when I see the bald gentleman. I forgot, off detective, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never met Ashley. I don't know who she is, but she's like a superhero to me. Like,
yeah, she's one of the reasons this got solved.
Absolutely.
She was 100%. Like a linchpin for this getting solved. So she's an absolute unsung hero in this.
She was.
Yeah. So it is from Ashley Doyle that we have some of the inside information that we have. She even wore a wire at one point and a hidden camera for police, but nothing concrete came of that. But something that did were Kat's differing reactions to the situation. Kat acted almost uncaring, like nothing was really a big deal. Even at one point being irritated that Cory's mom was calling her.
Yeah. But
publicly, she played the part of the grieving widow to a cartoonish level.
Mm-hmm.
Doyle described it as very over the top. At the funeral, she was moaning and wailing and laying over the casket and just putting on a big show.
What's crazy is the judge that presided all over this whole thing, and I'm going to quote her.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and quote her. She said, "You deserve an Oscar with the performance that you did on the day of your burial of your widowed, of your husband."
Yeah. Like, it was very over the top. Yeah. But at this point, detectives were watching her very closely. When someone in the Navy is killed, the Navy pays out an immediate death benefit of $100,000 to the spouse or next of kin.
Yeah.
In this case, Kat got that money. Kat's money moves were watched very closely. Less than 3 weeks after the murder, she spent about $10,000 on a trip to the Outer Banks with Draven and his brother. She went ham on spending. Jewelry, hotels, restaurants, and even a new apartment for her and Draven. After 3 months, she only had about $900 left.
That's what's crazy, because I even this is not confirmed, but I also found 2 sources actually where they stated that she not only got the $100,000 but another $150,000 of some other settlement with the Navy, so $250,000,
and she still managed to piss it all away.
And that's you know what, man? How can anybody spend that amount of money in 3 fucking months, dude?
Yeah,
a normal person, like a normal middle class fucking working person.
Dude, the shit that I could do if I had a sudden influx of $100,000, like, her stupidity actually bothers me.
It literally, dude.
Yeah.
The older I've gotten, the more I thought about this case, the more I'm like, this is a dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Now, of course, this erratic spending put Kat and Draven top of the list of suspects, but circumstantial evidence like that is not enough to nail someone to the wall. So, cops began a campaign of wiretapping that would last for months.
Yeah.
Now, to try to get something they could use, they utilized a tactic that I've never actually heard before, but I kind of like this. It's called tickling the wires.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's where they try to create a scenario where the subject is discussed and attempt to get something that can be used in court. They interviewed Cory's mom and flew to Michigan to interview Cory's sister, and even asked her to call Kat to check up on her, attempting to elicit conversation.
They did, man. They did. I found that out later that they did tap the phones, and we wouldn't even know about this, but another person that was involved that we both, JD and I, know, we confirmed that he got a paper from the ATF that his phone was fucking tapped. So that means
that's crazy.
When him and I were talking like, oh, I love that cock last night, they heard all of that, and that was incredible. And we knew we did that because he actually speculated that we were tapped.
So y'all thought that you were.
We had a feeling.
So you fucked with murder investigators.
After we did. It's funny actually. After we got subpoenaed, we started talking all this nasty shit at 18. Man, we were just like,
Christ.
Fuck it.
Again, you have at 18. You're allowed.
I was
to be
18.
A dumbass.
Leave me alone.
Now, Kat was extremely eager to get the investigation wrapped up, telling everyone, including directly telling police themselves at one point, that they weren't doing enough.
Exactly.
But Kat also had ulterior motives. So we mentioned the 100K. There's the 150 I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
But Cory also had a $400,000 life insurance policy, plus Social Security benefits and a widow's benefit, all coming her way.
Yeah.
The only catch with that is she had to be fully cleared of any wrongdoing before she could collect any of it.
2 weeks before she got in, before this case went into the haywire, she said, Ghost, you're not going to believe, I have been waiting for 6 months now for my money. I'm actually going to contact Governor Webb. I'm not even fucking joking. She said, I'm contacting Governor Webb. I'm writing him an email right now. I need this to be cleared. Cory's been dead for so long. Where's my money? To me.
Dude, the
delusion
of this is just, it's, I mean, like, she played the part, I guess.
She did. She fooled me. I'm all sitting there. Yeah, call him, man. Maybe you'll get your money. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's just,
wow. Yeah, because, I mean, again, you're 18. You weren't even super really involved, I imagine, like, in the thinking of the whole thing. So
no.
Yeah. So detectives finally got a big break in the case when they found out that Draven had been arrested a month before the murder over some altercation with an ex. I think you mentioned that up top.
I did. It's he beat up an ex-girlfriend like a spineless coward that he is, and
so he's
exactly
who we think he is. Yeah.
Yep, he's exactly that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But while in jail, he made hundreds of phone calls, most of them to Kat. I think I read it was like 95% were to Kat.
Yeah.
This is where, like, this is some of the dumbest criminal shit I've ever heard of.
I want to add something just to this part real quick. Okay. I wrote Draven. I have several letters that I have written back and forth with him. Once I found out that he was political aspects I don't want to get into, I stopped writing him.
Yeah.
In one of the letters, the fucker actually said that wasn't him. Those phone calls were not real. They were planted by the fucking FBI.
So
I wish I was kidding.
So he pulled a Shaggy?
He's
They haven't caught me on the camera?
It wasn't me. Literally. Got me
They
fucking
heard me on the jail phone?
Literally. Yeah, he said that wasn't him. And me and my wife sitting there like, and she says, is that his voice? I'm like, I can absolutely, I will never forget that motherfucker. I will never forget his voice.
Never forget the voice that sounded just like
literally. This. So yeah, that was him. Absolutely. So I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they knew.
Christ.
It even says at the beginning of it, this is monitored and recorded.
Like, what the fuck?
Idiot much?
Oh my God. Now they even seem to realize that the calls were recorded, but like they still immediately began incriminating themselves. Like, have you seen a mob movie? Like,
literally, like so have you talked to, when's that gonna go down? I'm like, you're recorded.
Yeah, like say something. At least be like, there's like, we heard something from our friend up north, or say something.
Literally, like make fucking like keynotes, like
Yeah.
keywords, and be like, "Yo, the fire's burning."
Yeah.
And I think the leaves will fall when the toilet flushes.
Yeah.
They would know what that means, but you and I won't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they could put it together, but like
Oh,
still.
obviously, yes, but still dumb. But don't talk on the phone in jail. That's the point in this fucking
Exactly.
matter.
Well, maybe just don't commit murder.
Or don't commit. Thank you, JD. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Don't commit murder first.
Don't murder. Don't murder.
Don't
Now,
murder.
the name David came up. This is so fucking stupid. It's
It
infuriatingly stupid.
is.
As well as money and David wanting money up front. And they literally said on a recorded jail call, David wants more money up front. He wants 500.
You want
Total
more
side
money?
note. If you are ever hiring a hitman, I don't recommend it, but if you ever do, do not go with the discount option. If your hitman is asking for $500 up front, he's not a good hitman. Get you a hitman that asks for 5 figures minimum up front.
Literally. And I mean, don't get a hitman, but literally, if you do for some stupid reason decide to hire a hitman, 5 figures. And I mean like high 5 figures, like 75K minimum.
Don't get your hitman on Wish.
Don't, because these fucks are that dumb, and this hitman is even dumber.
Oh my God. It's like, seriously, this is one of the dumbest cases I've ever researched. So who was David? Well, because Kat is no criminal mastermind, and the jail recordings mentioned speaking a good bit to a guy named David, detectives went through Kat's phone records, which I'm sure she didn't even realize they could do.
Yeah.
And they traced the calls to a David Runyon of Morgantown, West Virginia.
Yep.
There's even a quote from one of the detectives asking how dumb these people could be.
I mean, literally.
It's yeah.
No, this man, the day that they connected David and Mike and Kat was middle of December 2007.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Kat's house that day, and on the fucking screen is Wavy TV 10, and there's this man that says David Runyon. And Kat is literally losing her goddamn shit. When I tell you I've never seen somebody be this manic, she's like, I need to change my locks. He's going to have people come after me now because he killed my husband. Not even kidding. I wish I was making this up. Yeah, that she was completely delusional.
So she was like literally like making you like what's the word? It's not like it's like implicit after the fact or something like that. Like
Literally.
where you knew the information.
She was crying so much that even I, at one point, as 18-year-old gullible ghost, even asked, shouldn't you be happy, man, that they caught the guy? And she's like, oh, I am. It's just he's going to have people come after me. I'm like, what?
I love how this is the first time where you start to realize like a chink in the armor of like, maybe something is not right here.
Literally 4 months later, I'm like, oh my God, dude. Literally. No joke.
So now for detectives, it came to connecting Runyon to Kat and Draven. Well, as they began looking into Runyon, they found that he was also a lab rat at the same hospital program that Draven was at that he tried to get you involved in.
Yeah.
So they were able to establish their relationship through that. Now, again, not disparaging people who participate in medical trials for money. It's tough out there. I get it.
Yes.
But if you're ever doing that and your buddy in that program somehow gets to a point where he's leading towards asking you to whack a guy, maybe bring it up to an authority figure.
Maybe report him.
Maybe.
No
just
joke.
maybe.
Just maybe. Because
just maybe.
Any normal, rational person is just, imagine just sitting there like popping these pills and say, hey, Jeopardy's on. Hey, ever whacked a guy?
You ever killed a guy?
How do you even go across this shit?
Yeah, how do you bring that? Like, dude, like, how do you bring this up? Like, how about we play a game of Never Have I Ever?
Literally, no joke.
Never have I ever murdered someone.
Yeah, because apparently David Runyon has done this before.
So he says. There's no fucking way this guy had done this before, and we'll find out why in a little bit here.
Right.
So Runyon was put on 24-hour surveillance because the wiretap evidence that they were able to obtain, because through that they were able to obtain a search warrant, and they were able to search his mobile home. During the search, they found a box of .357 Magnum with 5 missing bullets. Remember, Cory had been shot 5 times. as well as a handwritten shopping list with items like knife, tarp, boots, black hooded sweatshirt, shit you would probably get to murder someone. Now, at this point, it was 5 months after the murder, and they made their move on Runyon. They had the assistance of the Morgantown Police Department, who did a traffic stop on Runyon, and detectives searched the truck. Apparently, Runyon had absolutely no reaction whatsoever. In the truck, one detective referred to as finding the smoking map.
Literally.
This is next level stupid.
Oh, yeah.
They found in the center console a map of the area and handwritten Langley Federal Credit Union, which was the bank that Cory went to, an extremely detailed description of Cory's vehicle, the name Cory written on it, and a picture of Kat and Michael Draven.
No joke. I wish JD was kidding, but he's not. Yeah, he had all detail. He had like missing back bumper or the back of the truck thing was down. It was detailed. When you said it was detailed, that shit was detailed. And you would not miss this truck.
No.
Cory's truck. So
like
yeah,
one of the plates, the wheel things was missing. What are those called?
Yes.
One of those was missing. It was like down to those details.
And why keep all of this shit 6 months later? And why have a picture of Mike and Kat? Why?
This dipshit, this supposed hitman, just drove around with all this evidence. Like, burn it or something.
Burn it, man. Bury the shit deep. If you want to get rid of it, to get away with it, like,
yeah,
come on, man. I never understood that.
I can't understand that at all. Even the detectives were shocked at how stupid this was. Like, is this for real? Now Draven and Kat knew about the arrest warrant, or about the arrest in West Virginia, so they started to get worried. This is where you said that you were part of that. Like,
yes.
You started to get manic.
Yep.
And this is where apparently Draven started just kind of wandering around town, threatening to jump off the James River Bridge.
That is actually confirmed. He called me an hour before he got arrested, left me a voicemail. I wish I still had it. Something regarding,
amazing.
Hey, Ghost, this is Michael. Or this is Mike, the way he said it. You will not be seeing me anymore. I will never see you again. Something like that. And in a sense of, I hope all your dreams come true. And you hear in the background like cars.
Oh, so you heard like the cars whizzing by.
I actually did. I wish I still had that voicemail. It's chilly, man. It's chilling knowing that this person is about to go down. I didn't know for what, but
at that point it's like that had to be like weird as shit for you too. Like what the fuck's happening?
It really was. And if you don't mind me adding this, I wanted to tell you this. When I first met Kat and Mike, we walked around the house. This was the day she did the accent thing, and I didn't buy it. But we walked around the house. They showed me house. I mean, she had a fucking tanning bedroom, dude.
Yeah.
We walked around the house, like I said, and there was pictures of this man. And in the living room was this big china cabinet. I mean, it was fucking huge.
Yeah.
It was his ashes, all this other shit.
Yeah.
And in America, most people, my wife said this, she's like, the reason why you caught them is because most Americans don't ask, well, who is this person that has died? Yeah. I, as a foreigner, being only 7 years in the States, was like, who's this guy around here? You guys are boyfriend, girlfriend? I literally asked like that. You guys are together. Yeah. Who is this person? And this is what they did. They immediately stopped for half a second, looked at each other. And I felt, and that's where I knew I saw the real them for like half a second. And that was the real them. They turned around, like she nodded, turned around, and she says, my husband was murdered 6 months ago. They haven't found a killer. And I left it at that. And I said, I am so sorry. I didn't know.
Not asking any more questions.
I'm not asking. And I never fucking did.
Holy shit, dude. That's fucking chilling, man. Like you like kind of saw just like the blinds go up just a little bit. For
a minute, I saw the real people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now they managed to arrest Draven before he did himself any harm, and after a few hours of interrogation, he flipped on Kat. Didn't even take a full day. It was a couple hours. Also, I'm not sure if they lawyered up at this point. This is how stupid they were.
No, they didn't. They talked.
Yeah. Now he said that she was the mastermind behind the whole thing, and he also laid out how Runyon had agreed to the murder for $20,000 which he never got paid for.
Nah, you got like $250, I think, that
Yeah.
they gave him through a Western Union fucking check. He didn't even get
Yeah.
it cash. He got a Western Union, motherfucker.
Yeah, it was like a tiny amount, like a little bit of gas money.
Literally.
So they had Draven call to set Kat up, and she was arrested as well.
The night I was there, that happened.
Yeah?
And I heard the phone call where she's like, wait there, I'm coming for you. I heard her say it in the fucking living room, dude. She's I'm going to jail. Mike just got arrested for some shit. I gotta go pick him up. I'm like, oh, okay. You want to come? I'm like,
knew? Do you want to come?
she literally it was me and I don't know if do you remember Paul?
Yeah.
Paul was there. Paul went and got arrested with her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you remember Paul. Paul and his
Yeah, I
sister
remember
went and got arrested, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I went home and that was
Wasn't
it.
Paul also involved in like a weird murder situation? Or did he just say, or did he just talk shit about that?
He might have just lied.
Okay.
You know,
he
he's a
seemed like the type. I didn't like him.
pathological, dude.
Fuck Paul.
I hope he doesn't listen to this episode. He's gonna be like, these motherfuckers.
I don't even know if Paul is still alive. Like,
he's still alive. I'm friends on Facebook with him.
That's funny as shit. That's funny. So Kat tried to throw everybody under the bus, but this was one pickle she was not able to manipulate her way out of. Draven got life. Runyon is currently sitting on death row awaiting execution.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the evidence they had, Kat pled guilty and also got life.
Yeah, she got life plus 20 years for robbery. She should have gotten. They were going to death penalty for her, but she pled out.
Well, that's why, because she knew that like there was no like the only way to save her skin was to plead guilty.
And I never realized until just getting later on, like 14 years later, I never realized that how much of an impact Draven actually had with this man losing his life. You wouldn't think about it, but Draven was the center point. Kat wanted him dead. Mike knew somebody. Mike found the person, connected him to Kat. Those two talked. Boom. Mike basically is. If she didn't have Mike, Cory would have never died, probably.
Unless like she'd have had like Draven do it or something.
Or but
he said, do it herself.
Do it. Yeah, you remember he said, I couldn't do it. I can't kill a person.
So you can like have somebody killed, but you can't kill somebody. Like what's the difference? Like at that point, honestly, you're just a pussy.
Literally. Yeah. If you can't do it yourself, then don't fucking do it. Or don't do it at all.
Don't do it at all. Yeah, just don't murder. And you know what?
Murder. Don't be Michael Draven.
This is also weird for me to add. Because I used to sell insurance. I used to sell life insurance. Maybe know your spouse before you get a giant life insurance policy.
I feel bad for Cory. The dude was 31 years old. He didn't deserve this. Like, this was really just unfortunate. The first night after deployment, she whacked the motherfucker. Did you know that?
That was the first night home.
First night home of being 3 months on a ship, dude.
This is somebody that like they write romantic comedies about people like Cory Voss.
Yeah.
Like I could not find a single bad thing about him. Apparently a great dad, apparently a great husband. And like I know like when somebody dies, like they do tend to like, you know, kind of like raise them onto a pedestal a little bit. But like I couldn't even find like, he was a dick in high school. I couldn't even find anything about that. Like somebody, if he had been a dick, would have had like okay, when I die, I'm sure there's gonna be at least one person that's gonna be that like,
one dick.
Fuck that guy.
There's gonna be that one dick that's gonna say fuck.
We've all got like one person that'll be like, fuck that guy.
And it's gonna be it's gonna be somebody. Yeah, obviously. There's gotta be, and this guy really didn't have anything. No, Cory was I mean, his kids even. I was cool with his kids. He had 2 kids with her, man, and they were like they're saddened, you know, they lost their father and their mother. And
well, it's weird to think, you know, they're adults now too.
They are. Yeah, she actually was. I made a video about this on YouTube, and she Casey came on there and was like, imagine being the daughter of the oh God.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like in a lot of this kind of thing, nobody really like thinks about the kids, like, but like their lives get like the world keeps turning, like their lives go on, man. Like they lost like a really good father. That's got to be traumatizing.
It is absolutely traumatizing. I know they got some kind of PTSD, depression.
They
have, for sure.
So, you know, I mean, for what it's worth, like more power to them. I hope everything's okay. I hope they're living, you know, their best lives at this point. But, you know, So
And if they ever hear this, man, I really like those kids, man. Those kids were great.
yeah,
I felt really horrible for them. I was a kid myself. They were only like 10 years younger than me. I think like 9 or so, 8 or 9.
yeah, they were young.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I was in a different part of my life now as an
Yeah.
adult. I feel horrible for them. I really do.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So, well, so again, I guess we've learned don't do murder.
Don't.
If you're going to do murder, don't hire a hitman from Wish. If you're
Don't
asking for-
kill.
don't kill. But if you gotta kill, if you gotta have
If you
somebody
gotta,
killed, if
don't
you
do it
have
like
to,
Mike Cat and
be smarter.
David.
Be smarter. Like, come up with some code words. If the hitman's asking for 500, get a different hitman.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just walk away.
Don't.
And
just
before
say
we
no.
walk away, Ghost, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at the Ghost. That's DAGHOST_official at all pages: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can't miss me.
Love it. I love it. Everybody listening at home, if you like what you're hearing, tell your friends. Like, tell everybody. We're trying to grow this little cult. Let's get some more cult members out here. Let's get some people drinking this Kool-Aid. If you, again, you like what you're hearing, leave us a review. Leave 5 stars. If you don't like what you're hearing, just fuck off. Don't leave a review. You don't have to leave a bad review. But if you like what you're hearing, leave us a 5-star. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and follow the channel. Leave a comment below. Send me an email at weirdwidepodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I want to hear any kind of weird stories you have. Were you involved with a weird murder? Like, anybody who's been involved with a weird murder, I want to hear about it. Let's talk. Hit me up. Next week, join us again. Another dive into the strangeness, another dive into the weird. And until then, keep it weird.